Interest rates up, down, up, down. What is happening in the real estate market? How does it relate to interest rates? How does it relate to prices? Here's the thing. The St. Louis surrounding market continues to outperform the national market. But here's the challenge. Overall, across the board, unit sales down double digit. Inventory down double digit. Median prices up single digits. So it's an interesting market right now. Tale of two markets. Seller's market for homes that are priced right, prepared for sale, great homes, priced right. They are getting, in many cases, multiple offers, over asking, certainly strong offers. Those homes that are underprepared for sale, overpriced, have wild bucks that aren't recognized in the price, those homes are having challenges selling. They're sitting on the market. Good news for buyers, though, because there's opportunities for those buyers to buy with contingencies that they're not able to see in those fresh on the market priced right homes. But again, tale of two different markets. Across the board, though, when we look at St. Louis County, St. Charles County, St. Louis City, Jefferson County, consistent, active inventory, year over year, St. Louis County down 11%, St. Charles down 13%, and that is taking into consideration a significant amount of new construction, and inventory levels are still down. St. Louis City down 12%, Jefferson County down 3%. Across the board, there is just not enough homes coming on the market. We have a supply side issue right now. Why aren't there more homes coming on the market? People are still rate locked. There are sellers that are in the 2-3% interest rates. Almost 50% of sellers are what they call rate locked, under 4%. And so they just cannot sell their home right now unless they need to move, want to move. They're just stuck at their interest rates. Also, just not enough new construction. We talked about St. Charles's has a lot of new construction, but when you look at St. Louis County, you look at St. Louis City, there's just not enough new homes coming on the market. The price of land continues to go up. The price of raw materials continue to go up. So what happens is these homes become too high a price for the market, or that land can't even be bought. When we look at unit sales, St. Louis County down 8% year over year. St. Charles County, again, even with all that new construction, still down 7%. St. Louis City down 13% year over year. Jefferson County is about stable, similar to last year. Then we talk about prices. 7% median price up in St. Louis County. St. Charles County up 2%. Why isn't it up more? It's not up more because even with this new construction, these builders are getting very aggressive. They're selling through some of their inventory, some of their spec homes, and they're just not getting the prices that they thought they would get. St. Louis City, prices up a tad though at 1%, same with Jefferson County. Overall, then, we started with interest rates up, down, up, down. Here's the thing, changes daily, but there's enough buyer demand right now to fulfill the housing. Again, it goes back to there's just not enough supply. And so when we look at this, unless interest rates, which were about 6.5%, unless we see them going down into low fives, fours, that's not going to start unlocking those rate locked sellers. And I just don't see an increase there. I also don't see a massive change in interest rates. Yes, they're going up and down 0.5% or so, but I don't see them going down 1%, 1.5%. And by the way, if they do, if you were a buyer on the sideline, and if you could wave a magical wand and know that interest rates are going to drop 1%, I can tell you there's not going to be a correlated increase in sellers. And all that's going to happen is prices are just going to skyrocket because every 1% increase or decrease in interest rates brings about 1 million more buyers into the market nationally. So all you're going to be doing, just competing with more buyers. Also, when we look at over the last 5 years, and we really look at 2020, 21 as a high watermark of over 7 million homes sold in the United States. Last year, 2025, 4 million homes sold, which was really a low water mark. This year, it was projected that over 4.5 million homes would sell. Right now, we're on pace for about 3.9 million homes. Actually, would be the new low water mark. So not only in St. Louis are we seeing this weakness in inventory, but we're seeing it around the United States of weakness in sales. Certainly, though, our market is outperforming those markets like Florida, which went straight up. Now we're starting to see it soften. Denver starting to see it soften. Some of the places in Texas starting to see it soften. Arizona. So those high-flying cities are coming down, but still, they're way up from 6, 7, 8 years ago. Overall, interesting market. It's a really strategic market for buyers and sellers right now. Sellers, get your home on the market, but make sure you price it right. And if you want to get a return on investment, prepare it for sale. The market will recognize a well-updated home and you will benefit. Buyers, you're going to have to move fast on these new homes priced right. The new, meaning new on the market. Those that are sitting, you can be a little more patient, be a little bit more aggressive on pricing of negotiating, and you can be a little bit more aggressive on negotiating contingencies and other questions about buying, selling, investing. Reach out.